It's been a while. Actually, it's probably been a couple of years since the last time I spoke us on Tiffany Haddish. I think the last time I spoke on Tiffany Haddish was when she and Ari Spears had that incident that was going on with them, whether together or separately, with some questionable behavior allegations against them. Let's just put it this way: they're both lucky, especially her, that their career didn't completely take a tumble after said allegations, considering it could have been career ending for both of them, especially for her. But I'm talking about Tiffany Haddish for the first time in a while because I saw something in my Discord that was very interesting to me. Apparently, Tiffany went on Godfrey's podcast and, they were just talking about some things, but then it got onto the subject of dating. And Tiffany said something that kind of struck people as odd. It probably struck Godfrey. It kind of caught him off guard when she said it. And basically, in so many words, she said that she was done with dating Black American men. So my mind went to, okay, she's about to tell us that she wants to go and seek men from another community or whatever the case may be. And technically she is, but not of another ethnic group. So she's trying to say, or she's saying that she wants to seek Black men just from not within the FBA sector portion of the diaspora. She wants to seek those from in another part of the diaspora. But the reasoning that she gave was very strange, to say the least, even to the point where I even had to look up to see if what she was saying was either true or some BS. But we'll get there. So let me go ahead and get into the article. It said it's no secret that comedian and actress Tiffany Haddish has been unlucky in love. She hasn't been spotted with anyone new since her not so mutual 2021 split from rapper actor Common after a year of dating. She told Jay Shetty on his podcast that she made the decision to be celibate in 2024. Now, in a recent sit down with Godfrey on his In Godfrey We Trust podcast, Haddish told the comedian that she's done with men from the US and is looking across the pond for her next partner. She is quoted as saying, "Any man born in America, I can't F with you. I'm only effing with Black men born outside of America and everything else," she said in an interview. Now, what that just tells me again is that she wants to be with a Black man. She just doesn't want to be with a Black American man. That's what I'm just gathering from this. But trust and believe, as I continue to go on, there was some people that was looking through going through the comments of the post, because Godfrey had posted a clip of it on his Instagram, and they were lighting her up something serious, not necessarily just because of this part right here, but the quote unquote explanation as to why she said it. The article goes on to say, it says, Haddish went on to say that getting involved with more than one man can have devastating effects on a woman's mental health. She says women that have more than two baby daddies usually have some sort of mental illness. See, now people are going to be questioning Tiffany Haddish, like, why is a woman out here having two baby daddies? Or more than two baby daddies? Because now people are going to look at Tiffany like, okay, so now it's the man's fault as to why this woman has more than two baby dads, or just has two in general. Because last time I checked, the quote was, "It takes two to tango." So it sounds to me like she was out here being reckless with her body. But now Tiffany's trying to put it on just solely the man as to why this woman is acting out or acting crazy or having some kind of a mental illness. So now it just sounds like Tiffany's just saying a bunch of BS. And the fact that she said in her initial quote that she can't mess with a Black American man, she's trying to make it seem like it's the Black American man who might be the baby daddy to this woman that's causing her to have mental illnesses, as if this can't happen with any other group. And we'll get to that in a second and why I said that. It says listeners who thought her comments were part of a comedy bit were likely confused when a straight-faced Haddish went on to explain what she believes to be the science behind the problem. She says, every time you get pregnant, there's stem cells that come from that baby, and them stem cells end up behind your eyes and your brain and your heart had is added. And those stem cells will always stay with you. So after hearing that, and I'm sure plenty of other people went and looked this up, we decided to do our own due diligence and see what in the world was Tiffany talking about, because many of us probably never even heard of what it is that she was referring to. And I just kind of typed in the same thing that she typed or that she said in the interview, not every single word, and it led me to this. It says, yes, it's true that fetal cells, including stem cells, can migrate from the fetus to the mother during pregnancy, and these cells can persist in the mother's body long after the pregnancy. This phenomenon is called microchimerism. It has been observed in human and animal models. While the exact extent and long-term implications of fetal cells in the mother's brain and eye are still being studied, there is evidence suggesting that fetal cells can indeed cross the blood-brain barrier and potentially even blood-eye barrier. So even with reading that, because I'm assuming this is what Tiffany's talking about, because it was more than one source that I came across that basically said the same exact thing, in correlation with what she's saying. This sounds like, it almost sounds like Tiffany took from this to use as an excuse to say she doesn't want to deal with Black American men anymore, which is why some people in Godfrey's comments ended up dragging her behind this, because it's like, how are you going to bring this up into your equation and then in a way kind of improperly use it? It's like, Tiffany, why didn't you just say that you want to just date other men from across the pond? You just didn't want to do a Black American man anymore. You just left it at that. You didn't have to say, oh, in this theory, oh, based on this science, this is why this and this is why that. She didn't have to do all of that, but I guess in order to make herself look and sound more intelligent than she is, this is what it boiled down to for her. Godfrey posted a clip from the interview on Instagram, and you know the comment section was lit with comments from people who were left completely confused after listening to Haddish's head-scratching theory. One person wrote, "That's a funny way of saying my poor choices now dictate I have to date." I'm guessing they were supposed to say who I have to date. "Somewhere nobody knows who I am. Those eggs are super scrambled and the expiration date was 10 years ago," wrote one commenter. Another commenter reacted to Haddish saying that she was willing to make an exception on her new dating rule for white guys, basically saying that if Tiffany decided that she was ever going to date a white man, and the thing is, I feel like Tiffany has dated men outside of the community before, and I feel like she has, because I think at one point Tiffany was married. I can't remember if it was to a Black guy or not, but basically what the person is saying is self-explanatory. That if Tiffany ever decided to date someone outside of the community, and if they happen to be white, this so-called rule or this theory that Tiffany has will go straight out the window. Like it wouldn't be a thing for her to just like, oh, I'm gonna date this guy, or everything that she said prior to this of why she wouldn't mess with a Black American man anymore, that would be completely null and void if a white guy, quote unquote, came in and swept her off her feet. "Dear white people, she belongs to you, but belongs to y'all," they wrote. Basically, in further response to what the person said just now about her so-called dating rule only applying with seemingly to Black American men, because that's who she specifically pointed out in her, I guess, her new scientific discovery. One commenter suggested that the problem may not be with the men, but with Haddish herself. They are quoted as saying, "That's a creative way to say, don't nobody in your country want you." And those were the ones that we were able to retrieve, the ones that stood out from the post itself on Instagram. But I'm sure there was several more on there that were basically echoing some of the same sentiments. So Tiffany, if you want to go find love or a mate in another country, just go do that. You didn't have to come out with this scientific theory that you found that sounds to me like you didn't do too much research on. You just put it on there and thought that this was some kind of discovery or new thing to explain what appears to be bad behavior or bad habits or bad tendencies. Just go out there and get you another person. You didn't have to give this explanation, because now it just makes you sound and look foolish than you already are. So it's just funny to me. Like, if for a lot of people who give these roundabout explanations about the people that they choose to want to date, listen, just go do it. Really, just go do it. See, the thing is, I think in the back of her mind, she's saying this because she feels like she has to do this, because if she doesn't, that people are going to come for her for the choices that she decides to make as far as dating goes, which means there's probably a guilty conscience there lingering somewhere in her brain, and she has to find a way in order to let the dust settle a little bit, or give an explanation of why she's doing. Listen, at the end of the day, no one cares. Tiffany, to be honest, nobody really cares. Just go do your thing. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one. Furthermore, this so-called theory that Tiffany has, that she's explaining to the people, I don't know why she thinks that this only applies to Black American men, because when I was reading off her scientific theory, whatever, it didn't have a race or ethnic background to it, or even a nationality for that matter. That means that could apply to any person, not necessarily just Black men. So the fact, again, that she only targeted Black American men in particular with this for her reasoning makes her sound even more ridiculous. Again, this was just her way of going after Black American men in particular to pedestalize another group of men, even within the diaspora or even those outside of the collective.